Hello and welcome to episode 23 of the HamCorp Training Manual. In this episode, we will complete our cetane-boosted diesel production line, getting us one step closer to winning the corporate space race. We will also consider plans of a magical nature for the immediate future. Welcome back. I have done a lot of crafting these last few days. And I also made a change in how we're going to get ammonia. I decided I'm just going to make it from nitrogen and hydrogen because I did the math and it's not as big of an energy hit as I thought it was, because we don't actually use that much ammonia in the process, so it's fine to use this. It is technically a little bit better to use the distillation tower with fermented biomass, but not by a lot actually. It's by like less than 1% difference. So we're still going to make a very large EU profit when making cetane boosted diesel, even if we use the direct ammonia path. I did some other things around the base before we put these things together. So first, I upgraded my crossbow. It's energetic alloy now. And it's using vanadium steel bolts. And I mentioned this a long time ago that I made this, I didn't make this, but I got this ball of moss and I was saving it. I'm going to use it on the bolts because then they just recharge over time. Something else that I talked about a long time ago was the Hail to the King quest. And I said I was going to get the cobalt hammerhead. I did that. And I upgraded my hammer to a cobalt hammer. I did this a while ago, you may have noticed in the last few episodes. But I never mentioned it. I also made an HV macerator, because it makes it much easier to get gallium. The HV macerator is the first one that gives you byproducts, and crushing thermally centrifuged sphalerite gives you gallium. So gallium it's still a little annoying to get, but it's not as big of a problem as it used to be. I also made this building. This is where the autocrafting is going to go. And it looks very blocky and box-like because I wanted to leave space to expand this way. And it also has a simple design for that reason, so it's easy to expand. But yeah, I was kind of just playing around and I blinked and then I had a building. So I didn't record a time-lapse of it. But it's not too interesting. It's just a cube. So it's just a cube. And it connects to the machine floor. And there's also this new space here. I just walled off the ceiling and pushed this wall back. And I think this would be a nice spot for some kind of control room. But I don't know exactly what yet. And the last of the things I did between episodes, I switched out the power supply for the EBFs to diesel. And these diesel gens feed a battery buffer filled with sodium batteries because I'm too cheap to use lithium. And then this battery buffer powers the EBFs, which I have upgraded to have 2 HV energy hatches each. So these are EV EBFs. Everything has been gathered. The last thing I need to do is to make the oil cracking unit. I've moved all the chests over to this building. So now let's assemble everything and then hook it all up and then I'll run you through it. Hello friends. I come to you with grave news. It has finally happened to me. I forgot to click record. Basically, what I did was I assembled all the multi-blocks. Not really anything particularly crazy. I need to remember what's what. I should probably put signs down before I forget. Okay, everything's been labeled. The only thing that is different from anything we've done before, I have acetic acid locked in this output hatch. And it's feeding directly into the input hatch of this ethanone. This block is shared between the two LCRs. That's why I locked it, just to make sure that the ethanone products never go to this output hatch. And this input is not shared. So yeah. And also this diluted sulfuric acid, I'm not sure what I want to do with it. I don't know, I might just void it. But yeah, besides that, not really anything out of the ordinary, just a bunch of LCRs. I did forget to make super tanks and some fluid trash cans. For example, from the nitric acid, we get water as a byproduct. But I don't want to put this on voiding fluids because then once we're full on nitric acid, it's going to keep going and voiding. I only want to void the water. So water hatches on top, and that's going to lead straight to a fluid trash can. Same thing with the TNM. For ammonia, we don't have a source of nitrogen. So that is another thing I need to figure out. I don't know what I covered in the part that I forgot to record, so I'm just going to run through the entire process once everything's in place. So the nitrogen setup. I have hooked up a logistics pipe to this drawer that has enter pearls. If you remember, it used to be a barrel, but apparently there's a bug right now where the logistics pipes are not able to access things that are in barrels, so I had to switch it out for a drawer. But anyway, this is how we're going to make nitrogen. Ender pearls get sent to a macerator. Ender pearl dust is sent to an advanced electrolyzer. Once there's 10 dust, it will electrolyze. Nitrogen will go into the super tank. Potassium and beryllium will go into these drawers. These drawers are visible to the system and they have void upgrades on them. I've already set up a fluid supplier pipe on the nitrogen, and I've also connected all of the pipes for the rest of the cetane-boosted diesel process. Originally, I was going to have buffers on some of these things. For example, the nitric acid was going to have a buffer, the ammonia was going to have a buffer, but I decided not to do that. If I need those chemicals, I'll just set up a dedicated passive processing line in the chemicals factory. These machines are specifically for making cetane-boosted diesel. So I just have the pipes directly leading to the next step in the process. So the starting point for tetranitromethane, well, there's actually two starting points. So let's start with this one. This one makes acetic acid from hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon dust. The acetic acid is sent into this input hatch, where it's converted into ethanone by using sulfuric acid. This sulfuric acid comes from this pipe, from this chemical reactor here, which I did not show the construction of. I did it while I was doing the rest of this. But this makes sulfuric acid from the hydrogen sulfide. All you have to do is add oxygen and you get sulfuric acid. So yeah, so the sulfuric acid is mixed with the acetic acid to make ethanone. Ethanone is sent through this pipe into here, this input hatch, and that's one half of the process. The other half is ammonia. Ammonia is made here from hydrogen and nitrogen, which we just finished. The ammonia comes out of this output hatch and is sent into this input hatch, where it's combined with oxygen to make nitric acid. Nitric acid goes into the same LCR as where the ethanone was sent. These two are combined to make tetranitromethane, which goes into this input hatch where it's mixed with the diesel to make cetane-boosted diesel. And here is a view of the whole process. Everything starts here, where the maintenance tunnel leads. Logistics pipes network comes out of here, oil comes out of here, and benzene comes out of here. The oil is then distilled here in this distillation tower, where we get a bunch of different sulfuric compounds, as well as naphthenic acid, which we just store and void. The sulfuric compounds are desulfurized here in this quad LCR. We get a bunch of different things: heavy fuel, light fuel, naphtha, refinery gas, and hydrogen sulfide. The heavy fuel and light fuel are our main products. Those are combined here to make diesel. That's one half of the cetane-boosted diesel line. The hydrogen sulfide is sent over here to be combined with oxygen, which makes sulfuric acid. The naphtha we just keep, and the refinery gas, which is also a byproduct, goes here, where it's then steam cracked to make severely steam cracked refinery gas, which is sent to this distillation tower, and it makes a bunch of different things, which I am not going to list. The other half of the cetane-boosted diesel starts at these two LCRs. This one makes ammonia from nitrogen and hydrogen. The ammonia is sent to this LCR, where it's reacted to make nitric acid. The nitric acid is sent to this LCR. Meanwhile, over here, we make acetic acid, which is then combined with sulfuric acid from before to make ethanone. The ethanone is also piped to the same LCR where the nitric acid went to make tetranitromethane, and the tetranitromethane is combined with the diesel to make cetane-boosted diesel. Well, look at that. We now have a full super tank of cetane-boosted diesel. This is a pretty major milestone because it's one of the main things we need to go to space. However, I found that we weren't making benzene fast enough, so I put down a second pyro. This is just to help make more wood tar, because I also noticed that the distillation tower was not active all the time. It still isn't, actually, but it's active a lot more than it used to be. Luckily, my original plan for making ammonia included a pyrolyze oven, so I already had all of these materials ready, so this was very easy to make. I've also started making some more large battery hulls because I want to make more HV batteries. Because I slowly want to switch how we power everything to the cetane-boosted diesel. Because right now, the steam powers all of these low voltage and medium voltage machines. But I've been bucketing over benzene to power, for example, these HV machines, because there's a gas turbine there. Same with this. I've just been bringing like aluminum cells full of benzene, just filling this up by hand. And it's fine because it lasts quite a while before I have to bring another batch. But eventually I would like to have some sort of centralized power storage right here, for example, and then have all of the gas turbines and stuff all in the same room to have all the pollution localized. I might put it kind of far from the base. I might put it here. I haven't decided yet. I guess it would be here because this is the power building. But anyway, so we'd fill up the battery buffers full of energy and then just have cables going around the base in the maintenance tunnels. So yeah, that's why I've been making these battery hulls. I would also like to make a full suite of HV machines. And probably some extra ones, for example, multiple extruders so I don't have to keep swapping out the rods, multiple bending machines so I can have different program circuits, things like that. And I'll start putting them up here. But I'm not going to automate them yet. I'm just going to wait till I have applied energistics to do that. Speaking of, to get that, we need to go to the moon. To get to the moon, we need a NASA workbench. That's the next step. And we have everything for that in this chest, except for nether star plates. Nether star plates are made from cutting a block of nether star, and a block of nether star you get from compressing nether stars, and nether stars you get from killing the wither. So if you don't know, the way you spawn the wither, this is the same as vanilla Minecraft, where you need 4 blocks of soul sand in a T shape, and then 3 wither skeleton skulls on top, and then you just beat it up till it's dead. That's why I upgraded my crossbow, and I should charge my armor before doing that. I don't know if that's going to protect me enough. I might come up with like a wither-proof box and just try to cheese it. But I might do it the fun way. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But regardless, I'd have to do it 9 times to get a block of nether star, to get my plates. However, there is a way to get infinite nether stars. And that is the null catalyst. So you can see there are 2 recipes for the null catalyst. This is the first one, where you get 2 null catalysts for 1 nether star. And once you have those 2 null catalysts, you can dupe them. Because here you're putting in 1 null catalyst and you're getting 2 out. So this is the recipe you use after the first initial pair of null catalysts. But this costs both a null catalyst and a tiny pile of nether star dust. At a bare minimum, we're going to have to kill the wither twice. So I need 6 wither skeleton skulls. And look how many I have. 0, but you thought I'd say 6, huh? So we have no wither skeleton skulls at all, and there are 2 options for how to approach this. We can make a cleaver, which has a higher chance of giving you a head when you kill a wither skeleton, or any mob, and that's a Tinker's Construct weapon. Or we can make the Skullfire Sword. The Skullfire Sword gives you wither skeleton skulls when you kill regular skeletons. And regular skeletons, much to my detriment, spawn here all the time. So this is a chance for me to get some catharsis. However, the Skullfire Sword needs some Thaumcraft, all the way up to Infusion. We need Infusion and then this additional bit of research. And we haven't done any Thaumcraft at all. We haven't done any magic, even. Now the magic building, I think, I'm going to keep on the other side of the river. Now that we have travel anchors, it's not really an issue to teleport around the base. So I'm not really worried about the distance. But I think I want to put it on this side, because in the future, we're going to need crops from witchery, which I would like to plant in the farm area. And then there's more than just Thaumcraft. There's also Botania, and Botania obviously needs to go in this nature-y farm section. I think I might build right here. I think this is where the Thaumcraft building is going to go, or the magic building rather. So I really liked how the planning helped in making the oil refinery, so I'm going to do something similar for this magical area. I've already placed my travel anchor, named it Wizard's Tower, and I just had the idea of making a portal room, because this is like teleportation, right? So it kind of makes sense to have other teleportation things in the same room. I don't know how many forms of teleportation there are. I know there's the Twilight Forest portal, and I know that there is the, obviously the Nether portal. I don't know if there are others. There's the personal dimension one, but I'm unlikely to make or use that because, yeah, I'm not abandoning this. But I think this would be a pretty good portal room. But I think I'm going to make this kind of a semicircle centered on this travel anchor. I just remembered that this thing exists, the building guide. It's going to help me make a nice circle. So this thing is nice because it shows you where your blocks are going to go, or where your blocks should go. And now this has made it pretty obvious to me that this is not big enough. You can change the shape using this icon on the top face. This makes it a cylinder. You can change the height of these ghosts by using plus and minus. So the top face, the controls on the top face change the height above the building guide. This left side controls this direction. This one controls that direction, and so on. I don't know what these 4 things do, but I just want an outline. Something like this, just a 1 block, just so I can see. So if I made an advanced building guide, I could just right-click the building guide and it would place these blocks. But I just didn't do that. I want to build, so. And I also don't want to build everywhere. I want this to just be a semicircle. The portal room is going to lead into a larger open space, which is going to house the infusion altar. That's going to be the centerpiece. And the largest size for an infusion altar, the maximum area is 25 by 25. This is a very big area. I don't think I've ever made a max size infusion altar. Or maybe this is just the maximum range that it searches in. I don't know. Whatever, it's a lot of space. This wintry hive I'm going to get rid of later. Okay, so this is the center of the infusion altar. I don't know how much space I really need, but this is apparently the maximum range that it can detect. And for now, this is probably fine. But on this side, I'm going to have Botania stuff. On the other side, I'm going to have blood magic stuff. And on the last side, I don't know, is there another mod for magic? Like, so for now, I don't need the Botania either, but I do need to kind of remind myself that that's what this is for. So I'm going to get some signs and just place them on these sides. Now I'm going to outline this with Azure and then have a bit wall around it and have extrude that up a little bit. And then, yeah, I don't know, I'll just play around and you can watch it on the time lapse. The propaganda division has advised me to leave you guys wanting more. So, thank you for watching this episode of the HamCorp Training Manual. In the next episode, we will complete construction of the Wizard's Tower and try to complete enough research to craft the Skullfire Sword. In the background, we will continue upgrading our existing machines to HV. If you would like to align your interests with the HamCorp corporate think tank, consider joining our Discord server, where you can try to boil the ocean and check the box for cross-functional deliverables from an end-user perspective. What the fuck does that mean? See you next time!